The continuation of the Succession War, which is full of hunting by various groups and characters inside the Black Whale, is getting even worse. And now that the full chapter 411 of Hunter x Hunter is finally out, we will witness the subsequent events and story developments after it was cut off at the scene where first Prince Benjamin prepared a special martial law after being poisoned by the same lethal biochemical weapon that killed Prince Halkenburg's body.
In this chapter, you will witness an intense twist, secrets, and revelations that might be related to Beyond Netero himself, and a scene that will surely shock you and get you hyped. And let's not delay any further. Let's go! The title of today's chapter is Announcement. Before we start, here is a brief recap or summary of the previous chapters.
First, we learned that Kurapika found out from Longhee that Beyond Netero possibly has a child who is actually a prince of Kakin. Longhee also revealed that she is one of many children of Beyond assigned as guards to the princes, and there is a curse placed on them that activates when they die. Longhee's mission is to kill Beyond's child, the Prince of Kakin.
Second, Kurapika formed alliances with various princes through Nen lessons.
Third, we learned that Halkenburg made a gamble because when Benjamin sent Balsamico to poison Halkenburg with a biochemical weapon, after Halkenburg attacked Balsamico with his ability, instead of Balsamico stopping the assassination attempt, even though Halkenburg's soul took over Balsamico's body, Halkenburg still proceeded to poison his own body because Halkenburg's body actually died.
And by the way, Balsamico's soul is still in his body, although it was taken over or remains dormant due to Halkenburg's soul. And friends, Halkenburg's body has no soul in this scene where it died. Next, we saw that the 11th Prince Fugetsu, who was being guarded by Melody, was suddenly and mysteriously cursed. They still can't identify the curse on Prince Fugetsu, and Melody, the 10th Prince Kacho, who is now a Nen Beast, and Kaiser, a member of Kakin's Justice Bureau, are currently looking for a cure. Next, we saw that Prince Saradnich's use of Nen is gradually improving, and now he plans to reduce the activation time of his future sight, that very broken ability, friends, that allows him to see several seconds into the future. Next, we learned that Boken officially became a member of Marina Prudo's group, though he was forced into it. However, Boken's mission to get information from the Hailey family remains.
Marina Prudo is actually a head of the Hailey family, friends, one of the 3 Kakin mafias, and the Hailey family is currently being hunted by 2 other mafia groups, the Shiyu and Char, who have somewhat collaborated with the Phantom Troop. So it's not just the Phantom Troop looking for Hisoka, the Char and Shiyu families are also racing to find him.
And lastly, the final scene of the previous chapter ended on a cliffhanger where Benjamin is about to declare special martial law because he only has 9 hours left to live after being poisoned by the biochemical weapon. His plan is to pass his throne to his child, who hasn't been shown yet, and Benjamin also thinks that the ones who poisoned him are Halkenburg and Saradnich working together.
After that recap, we're now at the chapter itself, where the events happened a few hours before the declaration of special martial law, because the declaration occurred around 2 p.m. on Thursday.
In the first scene of this chapter, inside the Ministry of Justice, Halkenburg, pretending to be Balsamico, called First Prince Benjamin to inform him of the schedule for Halkenburg's funeral, stating that Halkenburg's remains will leave at 1 p.m. and be brought to the funeral hall in Tier 1 by 2 p.m. Also, according to the will, the princes should not attend the delivery of Halkenburg's remains due to the ongoing succession battle or succession war. Halkenburg also told Benjamin that he would return there once Halkenburg's guards were disbanded and reassigned. Benjamin replied, "Excellent, thank you." Halkenburg said, "Yes, sir," and then ended the call. His soul can be seen truly inside Balsamico.
After that, the scene shifts to Kaiser, who asks how Prince Fugetsu is doing. Katja replies that she is asleep. Melody says, "No wonder, she needs to rest to recover." Kacho says she is the reason Fugetsu is expending excess energy now. Melody says, "Listen, don't think like that. Fugetsu needs you. She won't last without you."
Kaiser says that whether Halkenburg committed suicide or was killed by First Prince Benjamin, Halkenburg's funeral will be a grand and solemn ceremony so that his supporters won't get angry. So they should just wait until the funeral is over and hope everything goes smoothly. However, they also need to prepare for the possibilities that could happen next.
After that, in the room where Second Prince Camilla's guards are, the captain of the guards, Sarah Hall, is seen looking in the mirror.
Then she washes her face, removes her makeup, reapplies it, and changes into a servant's outfit. Fukutake, Camilla's head steward, tells Sarahal that her makeover is beautiful. Sarahal replies, "It looks like you're getting senile, Grandma. This is really me. This is my real face."
This is how her face really looks. Her face as the captain of the guards is just another persona of hers. The old woman says, "Ah, okay. But now that 9th Prince Halkenburg is dead, the situation has changed. Will you still continue with your plan?" Sarahal replies, "Yes. Finding an exorcist is necessary, so I want to expose that exorcist who might be with Kurapika as soon as possible, because they might interfere with my plan."
To activate the curse, they hold an object connected to the target or prince, such as a photo, along with a blade or knife. They need to think about that person dying every day. They need to curse them. It requires months and years of preparation to kill the target immediately.
And when they are ready to place the curse on their target, they burn that object they always hold, like the photo, and drink water containing the ashes of the burned photo or object. Afterward, they commit suicide with the knife. Once a guard dies, the cursed prince gradually runs out of time until they eventually die. In some cases, the target dies immediately in just a few hours.
However, the target's death accelerates if a guard commits suicide very close to their target, such as just a few meters away. And if they commit suicide close enough that the guard can actually touch the target and stare into their eyes while dying, the effect of the curse becomes extremely strong. That's why, according to Saral, it's better if there is no exorcist, so her curse won't be dispelled.
Nevertheless, it's better to assume there is an exorcist so they can truly search for one.
But if she gets lucky and Kurapika's group becomes complacent, allowing her to get close to the prince, she will just kill the prince directly on the spot. If that happens, she tells Fukutake to replace her as captain of the guards with Kaku. After that, Sarahal went to room 1014 and saw the other guards sent by the princes to train in Nen. Furakov and Babamina, guards of 1st Prince Benjamin, are also there.
Sarahal is actually Wobel's secret assassin here. Bill is currently guarding the prince, along with the remaining servant and Queen Oito. Kurapika and the 2 guards of 3rd Prince Songlei, Sakata and Hashito, can be seen guarding the outside of the room where the prince and queen reside. Following that, Kurapika started teaching again, and this is the 2nd round of the Nen class or Nen workshop.
The current participants are 18 individuals. Kurapika says that based on the results of the previous round, most participants requested to continue the Nen lessons, so he decided to increase the number of classes and split them into 2 groups, the introductory class and the beginner class. In the introductory class, he says he will teach participants to use Nen within 2 weeks.
That is his guarantee of what he can do, just like what happened last time in the first round of the Nen class. At this point, Furakov asks Babamina which of them will watch the intro class. Babamina replies, "You, of course," because Prince Benjamin thinks Furakov needs to learn the basics more. Furakov asks, "Are you sure you don't need to learn the basics too?"
Babamina replies, "No, seriously, you really need to learn that." According to Kurapika, he promised the beginner class that they could truly master the basics of one of the 4 Nen exercises per week. In addition, he says he will allow new Nen students into the intro class. He will allow the addition of 1 extra person per prince to learn Nen, and that is only for the princes whose agendas are aligned with theirs.
So, they need to confirm via phone call with the other princes if they want to add another person to an extra slot to participate in the Nen class. Kurapika adds that the beginner class will last for a month, but they can drop out of the course anytime. After that, Furakov thinks to himself that teaching the basics of the 4 Nen exercises in just 1 month is something that cannot normally be done under normal training.
However, it's not impossible if a certain type of kickstart is used during the training process. If the current stalemate in the succession war, where the majority of the princes haven't gone all out in killing yet, lasts for a month, those in the beginner class will become Nen users.
It is said that they will truly become Nen users after a month. These people will allegedly no longer be defenseless against enemies who do not use Nen. What Kurapika is doing now is simply increasing the number of recruits to match the military strength of other princes, such as Prince Benjamin, whose soldiers are already Nen users. Aside from that, what Kurapika is doing is also reportedly causing the guards to be separated from the princes they are protecting. It seems Kurapika is now forcing this succession war to progress into a defensive contest rather than an offensive one.
After that, a person wearing glasses said to Belente that regarding the provisional hunter assigned to the 13th Prince Miriam, didn't some people get killed in the previous Nen workshop? And until now, the perpetrator hasn't been identified, so will they really be safe this time?
Belente replied that truthfully he doesn't know, but he thinks the killer won't target them. However, he asked to be informed immediately if they see a masked woman. 2 servants of the 11th Prince Fugetsu, who were in the beginner class, can be seen talking. Iliarda asks, "Do you feel like our skin is becoming clearer and our shoulders aren't as stiff anymore?"
You're right. I feel tired, but I'm also feeling more energized now. Meanwhile, a servant of the 10th Prince, Cacho, named Rocoli, says that Seiko is still denying everything. But if the soldiers had truly tried to seal the area back then the 10th Prince Cacho would... While he was still speaking, Yuri, who is also in the beginner class, shushed him and told him to just do what they were ordered to do.
Habiete, a guard of the 7th Prince, says to Satobi, another guard of the 7th Prince Luzuris in the beginner class, that if the extra person brought here is someone like Gato, it means that this Nen is truly powerful. Satobi replies that Prince Luzuris wants to observe first and wait until the tension between the mafias settles down. He says these peaceful days are an opportunity for them.
He adds that even though they are royal guards from Queen du Azul assigned to the 7th Prince, no matter who becomes the next king, all of them will eventually be transferred to different assigned duties. Therefore, gaining an ability like Nen will give them more of an impact and provide more options for future employment.
Habiete answers yes, and adds that it would also be better if they could contact a personal guard of the 2nd Prince Camilla, who is a daughter of Queen du Azul. They then look at Sarahel, and Habiete notes that she is one of Prince Camilla's maids, right? Satobi replies, it's possible she's just a spy. Meanwhile, in Sarah-Lynn's mind, she says that it looks like the 14th Prince Wobble is in the master's bedroom, meaning she is actually closer to the prince than she initially thought. She believes she might even be able to obtain an item the prince has used, which she plans to use to burn, drink, and then commit suicide to activate a curse. She claims that 5 days will be enough for her to curse the prince.
Meanwhile, in the mind of Tefdori, a personal guard of the 3rd Prince Zhonglei, he thinks about adding more people following the joint declaration of the 5th Prince Tubepa and Prince Zhonglei regarding their need to form an alliance. He thinks what Kurapika is doing is strange, as it creates additional confusion, chaos, and a defensive plan.
This is because all the princes are hiding their true motives for wanting to learn Nen. Tafdori then called Zhang Lei, saying it wouldn't be good if Zhang Lei reduces the number of guards assigned to his own room, as they could instead invite Prince Wobble's camp for a dinner, so to speak, after the workshop.
Zhang Lei replies that if that's the case, they shouldn't report this to the 1st Prince Benjamin to make it appear as though his camp and Wobble's camp are on good terms. Tefdori hastes to himself that this was exactly the answer he was waiting for from the prince. Since the Mafia will be the ones to handle any conflicts involving firearms, he doesn't need to reveal to others the ability he might gain in this class.
He tells the prince, "I understand, sir. Please leave everything to us. Since Sakata is also here, we will have him join the class as well." After that, Mauer, the captain of guards for the 5th Prince Tupepa, thinks to himself that although he can now use Nen, he is still powerless against the personal guards of the 1st Prince Benjamin.
All he can do now is improve himself and maintain their collaboration with the 3rd Prince Zhonglei. He assumes that the 1st Prince Benjamin's guard assigned to Prince Tupepa can probably see the prince's guardian spirit beast now. Because of that, he thinks the guard won't act rashly against the prince. In the meantime, he also plans to invite Kurapika's group to their room for Nen training.
He realizes he can't afford to be choosy if his prince is in danger. While the guards are thinking, Kurapika is also deep in thought, noting that Halkenburg is dead, the prince he was hoping to use as a stepping stone to connect with Prince Sariadnik.
He laments that they never discovered the secret behind that feeling they had before, which felt like a rumbling of Nen or aura, which was actually the moment Halkenburg activated his ability. According to Kurapika, Halkenburg didn't die of an illness, he was murdered,
and it happened right before the trial between Halkenburg and Benjamin was supposed to start, making it obvious that it was an assassination.
However, as of now, they have no proof. He adds that Halkenburg was the one restraining the higher-ranking princes from making major moves, while for the lower-ranking princes, Halkenburg was their hope. Even the mere presence of Halkenburg's guards in the room provided enough tension and a sense of security for them.
Now that Halkenburg is gone, Kurapika wants to increase the uncertainty felt by the higher princes, even if it increases the potential risk they might face. Despite this, no prince has sent additional guards to their room, even though he opened new slots. Sarahil is shown looking at Kurapika.
After that, Geeper introduces himself to Danjin, Terednich's guard, saying, "I am Geeper, assigned here to Tier 1 to replace Wurzen. Do you have any advice for me after you fulfilled Muhan's role?" Danjin answers, "Yes, and that is, don't die." He explains that if someone else from their side dies, the prince will not stay quiet, and Danjin will be the one blamed, especially now, Danjin thinks, since he has already lost Prince Sarayuch's favor. After that, Kurapika explains, "So now we will begin with 9 members for the intro class and 9 members for the beginner class, making 2 groups."
The 10th Prince Kacho's servant thinks to himself that he prefers being here over constantly experiencing abuse from the 6th Queen Seiko, the mother of Kacho and Fugetsu. But he tells the servant of the 11th Prince Fugetsu that he doesn't like it here, but will do his best to help the 6th Queen Seiko.
A servant named Tonyster says they need to work hard, thinking that if it's true they can gain superhuman powers through Nen, he will finally be useful to the 11th Prince Fugetsu and will be able to fight. However, the 13th Prince Miriam's servant Naipei is terrified and says he doesn't want to do this Nen workshop anymore and wants to return to room 1013.
Meanwhile, the 11th Prince's guard, Gato, tells Satobi to just focus on learning Nen. Satobi agrees, saying he should avoid acting rashly on his own. He believes waiting is the only way to improve their status. Gato thinks to himself, "What do you mean by us? The princes are dying one by one, and our target right now is just a baby. How much longer are we going to waste time here? Who's the fool that would pass up this opportunity when Prince Wobble's life is within reach?" He sees this as his path to promotion. In Kurapika's mind, he thinks that if the snake controller is one of the people here and attacks the 4th Prince Sarayuch's personal guard again, they might really be sent to court.
This is because in the previous Nen class, or the first round, Prince Terrynich's guard, Muhan, was killed. He wonders if another guard dies. Would the prince himself actually come here? Kurapika tells the people in the intro class that they need to clasp their hands together in whatever way they prefer. For those in the beginner class, he will provide a piece of black paper.
Shortly after, the 3rd Prince's guard, Slaka, raises his hand and says, "May I speak? I am Slaka, a guard originally affiliated with the 2nd Queen Du Azul. I want to join the intro class." This shocks Zhanglei's guards, Sakata and Hashito.
Slaka replies, "No, I'm Prince Zhanglei's guard. Since Zhanglei sent me here to supervise, I figure it's better if I learn something while I'm on watch." Danjin thinks to himself, "Zhanglei, so this is a watcher from a lower-ranked prince." He finds it hard to believe that Slaka left his assigned post, as he was supposed to be guarding Zhanglei.
Maor, the 5th Prince's captain of guards, wonders if Slaka is monitoring something to gain an advantage. He thinks if the 3rd Prince is making a move without informing them, they might need to reconsider their treaty with Prince Zhanglei. Sakata is extremely annoyed, thinking, "You're a real idiot."
He worries that Slaka is just giving away useless information, or that Slaka is trying to ruin the good relationship they are trying to build with the other princes. Sakata glares at Slaka, who just smiles. Sakata thinks, "Damn it, he's doing this on purpose."
In Slaka's mind, he thinks that last time they just took advantage of him by giving him secret missions and making backroom deals that were far from the real deal.
He thinks that if they don't plan to reveal the information about Nen that could change the situation of the succession war to him, he won't just go with the flow and allow himself to be left out just because they are trying to build relationships with other princes. Kurapika notices the tension among the 3rd Prince's guards. Kurapika then speaks up, saying, "Some of you may have noticed that Slaka is in a special circumstance. He was sent here to learn important information about Nen that could affect the entire succession war. Well, now is the right..."
Here is the time to announce that matter or that information. I want to discuss this important information now. Those words shocked the guards because they expected that they would only find this out secretly and that Kurapika wouldn't just announce it so casually to the others present here, like the servants.
That's why Sakata said, "Wait, that's not a good idea, Kurapika." Kurapika replied, "Are you thinking that this information would give us an advantage in the succession war and that I'm just revealing it recklessly now? Is that what you mean? That it's as if Kurapika should only do this in private with the higher-ranking princes?"
So, Kurapika said he was sorry, but it wasn't that kind of information he was about to reveal. Sakata couldn't respond and was left confused. Meanwhile, Badimaina was just staring at Kurapika. Kurapika then said, "My apologies, it seems I phrased it poorly, which led you to misunderstand what I meant."
I'm sorry you interpreted it as if I were saying only the princes with this information would benefit from it. Then Slacker said, "Huh? If that's the case, what is it really? What did we get wrong?" Kurapika answered, "Allow me to explain." Furikov scratched his head while Bill listened very intently. And this is where Kurapika explained.
He said that inside this ship, we are in the middle of a succession battle or war that will determine the next king of Kakin. And he said the process to determine that king could be described as extraordinary. He said it would really make one ask why a kingdom would even take such a path. That question caught everyone's attention. Kurapika added that if you think about it, the reason they are conducting this process is for the prosperity of the nation, for a king who will lead billions of people. And by using Nen, the results of the ritual can be maximized, making the process more valid. The use of Nen abilities, the limitations, and its vows or promises are what will reportedly strengthen the leadership of the next king of Kakin. Because the king becomes a survivor of an incredibly brutal competition, it is guaranteed that the trade-off is a prosperous nation for the next generation. That is how powerful Nen is. It can influence the prosperity of a nation and the next generation. Because Nen, friends, is like an equivalent exchange. If you sacrifice something, the greater the sacrifice, the greater the benefit. Kurapika added that as for the vows and limitations, those are the key aspects of Nen.
Because if Nen is subjected to very strict rules that put people or a person at risk, the power gained from that will multiply even further. Based on the Kakin Empire, the mere act of sacrificing the lives of your entire clan until only one remains possesses an intense determination and the risk that the entire clan could be wiped out in the process.
And that level of determination is what is required to perform a ritual like the Succession War. Because if a king does not have that determination to sacrifice his entire clan, an intense ritual like the Succession War cannot be performed. And right now, they are reportedly in the second phase of the ritual.
According to Kurapika, there are 4 phases backed by Nen that will complete the process of the Succession War. Those 4 phases are based on what the Japanese call Matsuri and Matsuri Goto, a type of religious ritual and worship where there are 4 sentences recited by the Japanese. And the 4 phases of the Succession War are based on each of those 4 sentences.
We will go through those sentences one by one and their equivalents in the Succession War, friends. First is dedication and prayer to the gods. The equivalent in the Succession War is praying for the nation's prosperity and making a vow. This has already happened. It was the stage of wishing and promising the prosperity of the Kakin nation, essentially just the preparation.
The second sentence is making an offering to the gods, the equivalent of which is sacrificing your entire clan as a testament to their commitment to the nation's prosperity. And that is what's happening now, because every prince has already offered blood as a testament to their commitment. They have joined the Succession War, and some have even died.
Now we come to the third sentence, which is the celebration of the spirits of the dead. Its equivalent is the need to gather the bodies of the deceased princes to form a storage of sacred energy. As a matter of fact, that is already happening or underway because a scene showed that each prince has a casket.
So, the Succession War is heading toward the third phase, friends.
The equivalent is that once enough power has been gained or generated by the Succession War, the remaining survivor or the future king must make a vow for the prosperity of the nation and for the generations to come. It's like an oath he will take once sufficient power is generated.
In other words, when only one prince remains, and this will complete the ritual.
It is said to be very critical that the succession war strictly follows and proceeds in that manner through those 4 phases, because without those risks, the fact that they could die or the princes could die during the ritual, or even be wiped out, the new leader or king of Kakin wouldn't truly have enough power to rule.
This means the king wouldn't have enough nen to maintain his guardian spirit beast, which in turn helps provide the king with enough power to develop the nation. And those limitations are the important information that will affect the outcome of the succession war. According to Kurapika, it will take 2 months before the black whale arrives at the new continent, another uninhabited island before the dark continent.
And today is currently the 12th day, so they only have 1.5 months left before the ceremony's deadline, where the current king will announce the prince who will succeed him. That will happen the moment after they disembark at the new continent. The deadline for the succession war to be resolved is definitely after their voyage to the new continent.
Kurapika further said that determining the next king at that time is non-negotiable, so only one prince must truly remain by then. However, if there is no survivor by that time or deadline, the ritual will fail and won't be completed, resulting in the fall of the Royal Family. These words shocked everyone, prompting the narrator to say, "Fall from power?"
Wouldn't it just be a change in the government? Kurapika replied that the ability to adapt through the years and generations and to manipulate so many people is all enhanced by Nen. Without it, one person truly couldn't lead such a vast number of people.
Mayor asked, isn't it a bigger risk or equal to the benefits the kingdom receives if failing the ritual results in everyone dying? Why would the Royal family merely fall from power as a consequence?
Kurapika answered that the concept of the sole survivor actually risking his life to fulfill the wish and result of national prosperity is already a massive risk. Because think about it, the prince ventured into a life and death struggle, or the succession war, before becoming a king.
The fact that the other princes have the choice whether or not to kill one another is one of the risks that determines if the ritual will be completed or not, because it's possible that more than one will survive, or no one survives at all, which would result in an invalid ritual, and that is part of the risk.
Because if you remove that risk, for example, if the rule was you must complete the ritual by the deadline or you all die, that would no longer be a Nen limitation carrying a risk, but rather enforcement or a forced following of a rule. That is the opposite of a Nen limitation. Additionally, the possibility that more than one could survive because there are weaker participants, like Prince Wobble and the younger princes, is one of the risks, because it's possible other princes might feel pity and not kill their younger siblings. Another risk is the possible chaos if more than one survives the succession battle.
Following that, there's also the risk that the next ruler might fail if the requirements aren't followed, such as the requirement that only one must survive the succession battle. And another risk is hidden in the time limit, because there's only 1.5 months left before the deadline, so they have a time limit, or the ritual has a time limit.
Because of Kurapika's explanation, Furikov was shocked and said to himself, "Why are you revealing all of this now? It's like you're encouraging us to hurry up and kill the lower-ranked princes." Because of this, the guards discussed among themselves and thought it over. However, Kurapika spoke again, saying, "And by the way, I have one more crucial announcement."
The 14th Prince Wobble is not eligible for the succession battle. This was something that shocked everyone. And in the next scene, Queen Oito is seen with her back turned to Prince Wobble, her face showing shock, an expression that seems to be a mix of nervousness, fear, and surprise. What could be the truth, friends? Is Kurapika's revelation about Wobble actually true?
If so, what is the full story of why Wobble is ineligible for the succession war despite being called a legitimate child of King Nesabi? Could it be possible that she is the child of Beyond Netero? Well, we will find out all of that in the next chapter, because we will end the video here at its final segment. That's all. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this.
Thank you very much, and see you guys again in the next video.